Vista Community Television presents Let's Talk About It with our hosts J.B. Portillo and Kristy Snyder. Today's topic is our local animal rescue with our hosts Nancy Cullins and Beverley Bartley.
Hey there, Bella Vista. Welcome back. It's
Hey.
time to talk about it again, Kristy.
It is so exciting to be back. We missed a month, and we're in pretty much new studios now.
High definition, ready to go.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
We've got some really cool people to talk to today.
Yes.
Let's start over here with my new friend, Nancy Cullins. And she's with the Bella Vista Animal Shelter.
Correct. So I'm honored to be here. I haven't been with the animal shelter for too long. It's been just under a year, but I'm excited to be the new executive director there, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about all the things that we do at the Bella Vista Animal Shelter.
Tell us a little bit about you.
So my background comes from the corporate world, and I was working in marketing, specifically in printing. And I got to work for some of the biggest corporations in the world, and I got to work all around this nation. This is the 8th state that I've lived in. So I like to think that I have a wide tolerance for a different range of people, and I love all personality types. I've never met a stranger in my lifetime. And so for me, working at the animal shelter is great because I get to hear everybody's stories, meet the community, and I'm really enjoying it.
And you obviously like animals.
I do. I love animals. I've mainly been a cat person through my existence, and that has a lot to do with the work schedules and whatnot. But love dogs too, and the shelter is a great balance for both of them. And I have to knock wood that we haven't had any goats since I've been there, but we do occasionally get the chicken and rabbit. We would like to discourage that. We're mainly set up for dogs and cats.
And no snakes, no reptiles.
We do get those too, but they are volunteers at the shelter. They are not brought to us. So.
Oh, I gotcha. They just kind of come and look through the fence.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly so.
That sounds
Well-
pretty brutal.
And we have another guest that we'll be talking to today.
Yes, this is Beverley Bartley, and she's with I'm Your Huckleberry Rescue and Adoption. And Beverley, welcome to the show. This is your first time. And first of all, where are you guys located?
We are located in Jane, just past the Walmart Supercenter.
So you guys are like within a couple of miles of each other.
Yes, we are.
But
Yes.
Different state.
Different state.
We're in Missouri, McDonald County, and of course, Benton County, Arkansas.
And how long has the rescue been in existence?
We started 5 years ago, mainly due to the dreadful problem in McDonald County of stray and abandoned animals. Just one or two of us rescuing the odd dog here and there. And it eventually grew. We now have 3 adoption teams, a foster coordinator, many volunteers, but we'd like more volunteers. So the organisation has grown immensely in the 5 years that we've been in operation.
So about how many animals are you fostering right now or rescuing?
We have 47 animals in foster care and at our new intake facility, and I have 12 at my house.
Oh my goodness.
Are you willing to adopt the 12 at your house? Out?
Some of them are hospice. That's why they're at my house. Some of them are not really adoptable because they have behavioural issues or health issues. But yes, some of them are adoptable.
How many animals does the shelter have?
So we have facilities for 24 dogs, so runs available for that. We currently have 38 dogs on in-house, and we have a number of cats. I guess the benefit of cats is that you can stack them in a room fairly easily. So I think we're at 73 cats currently.
Okay.
73.
There's always a lot of kitties.
Well,
Yeah.
how quickly?
Kitten season.
How quickly do cats adopt out?
Fairly quickly. So for us right now, again, since we're in the throes of kitten season, I think we had, don't hold me to these numbers, but I want to say we had 38 cats born on shelter this year. So kitties that were born at the shelter. And then, of course, we have to wait and feed them, get them weaned. They have to reach a 3-pound weight limit before we can bring them to the vet to have them spay or neutered. And so once they've reached that 3-pound limit, then we can adopt them out. And that part's fairly quick. It's the getting to the point where we can adopt them. We have certain criteria that we have to meet before we can send anybody out for adoption. And of course, they have to have their first round of vaccinations, a rabies shot. They have to be spayed or neutered, and we want to make sure all of that's taken care of, microchipped, before they go to a home.
I think later on you're going to show us about microchipping. But you know what I'd like to do right now? I think we have a special 4-legged visitor who's been very patient today. So I was just hoping that maybe Tucker could come over here real quick.
Wake up, Tucker.
Hey, Tuck.
Tucker.
Tucker came to the shelter. He's 10 years old now, and he was just a puppy. Give him to Nancy. There we go. Hi, Tucker.
This is
Come
Tucker.
here, babe. How are you?
Can you sit for us, Tucker?
Tucker's been really good in the studio this morning.
Have a seat.
He has.
Have a seat.
We don't have new
Sit.
carpet yet, and we don't need it.
That's right. So this is Tucker, and like I said, he was a little puppy at the shelter. Tiny little thing. He's big now.
He's well taken care of.
He is actually part Dachshund and part Basset Hound, so he has features of both. And he's older. You can tell he has his little white mask going on. But you know, he's been a really good. We're very happy we found him. Very happy. We've rescued other dogs there, but Tucker's kind of special. So.
Well, I'm just so glad that you brought Tucker with us today, because we're hosting the Wiener and Corgi dog races coming up on October 1st. And so Tucker's helping me represent that he is a wannabe. So he's half wiener dog and half hound. And so he's going to probably be racing in the wannabe category. And we're looking forward to having all of our dogs there. Tucker's going to make an escape right now.
Yeah, he's going to go. Bye, Tuck. See
Bye,
you
Tucker.
later.
So we're looking forward to that. And after COVID times, people are so excited to be able to have a community event where we're all getting together and meeting up. We're going to have food trucks there. We're going to have music. We're going to have vendor booths. And so we're really excited to host this event for Bella Vista and bring everybody together, all of our dog lovers together, to have a fun and good time.
And what's the cost?
The cost for the general public to come to Wiener Takes All is $0.
Okay.
If your dog is choosing to run in the race, then you pay a $25 entrance fee. Other than that, it's come one, come all. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Now, you've done this before. I mean, the shelter's done this before.
The shelter has done this before, so this is the quote-unquote 17th annual Wiener Takes All, and we are hosting this year. We're dedicating it to Ron Kolakowski, who was the one who brought the Wiener Dog races to the shelter. It was his idea, and it has been such a loved event. Again, we didn't host it for every single year due to rain or due to pandemic, but this year it's coming back full force.
Yeah,
It's a great
it's really
event.
fun.
Yeah.
You haven't seen them yet, have you?
No, because
Oh.
of COVID. When
Yeah.
I moved here, it was all
Oh,
for
it's
2 years.
so good.
2019, yep,
Do you
yes.
do you come to that?
Yes,
ever? Yeah.
yes, it's a great event.
Do you ever bring any of your dogs? over?
No, just go to support and visit.
Yeah,
And when my mum used to come over from England, she used to love to go. She loved that.
And when does it start? What time?
So on October 1st, it's going to start at 11 a.m., and then we're thinking we're going to be done before 3 p.m.
Okay.
Well, let's pray for cooler weather.
That's the way it's looking right now.
And usually there are all kinds of vendors there. There's little treats. There's everything.
So we this year we've been reaching out to a number of nonprofits. So we've got the Bella Vista Historical Society. We've got a couple of clubs coming, like the Fly Tires. We have the NWA Community College Nursing Group coming out to visit with us. So it's going to be, like I said, a real community building kind of event.
Usually there are vets there, different veterinarians.
Yep, we have several veterinaries coming, and which is great for us. We have a number of gate sponsors. We have race sponsors. It's a lot. A lot of moving parts, and we're hoping it all comes together seamlessly.
Tucker usually walks around with Bruce, my hubby, and goes to all the places where they have treats.
This year we have a kissing and photo booth, so Tucker can be
right.
represented
That's what you
there
told me.
and give out doggy kisses to all of his fans.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Sounds like fun.
So you wanted to tell us, you're going to demonstrate, I think, about chipping?
I was. So one of the things that we did at the shelter this year, well, and that we do almost every year, is we perform a service called Chip and Dip. And the Bella Vista Animal Shelter offers microchips year-round for a $20 fee. But one of the things that people get concerned about with microchips is that they think, oh, it's a GPS tracker, you're always going to know where I am, you're always going to know where my dog is. That is absolutely not the case. And so what I've done is I've brought a little tiny demo here. This is my dog that I take with me on events, and this is a scanner for a microchip. Really easy. All you have to do is wave your wand over the back of it, and it will tell you exactly what number this dog is microchipped with. And so as you can see, JB, it's just a series of digits. So it starts with a 9, it usually goes about 16 numbers long. The first 3 digits of the microchip tell us who purchased that chip. So whether it was a dog breeder or whether it was, let's say, PetSmart, something along those lines, it will give us some information. And then we contact that manufacturer to say who owns this dog, and they will give me their information, or they will tell us that they will contact that person, and they send an email or a phone number so that you can get a hold of them and let them know that your dog is at our shelter safe and sound. Please give us a call and come by and pick them up when you're ready.
See,
Same with cats.
I misunderstood that. I thought that number was directly linked to the shelter, and the shelter would pull it up with the information that you had on hand.
It's the first step in our investigation. One of the things I learned really quickly when I took this job was how much PI work you have to do to work at an animal shelter. It's a lot of investigation.
Wow.
You know, who owns the dog? Was the dog given up for, to someone else? Who's that family that has the dog now, or the cat? It's been interesting, but yes, that's just our first clue on our investigation. And then, depending on privacy issues, sometimes they'll give you the information. Sometimes we see the vet tag on there, and we call the veterinary hospital to see who owns that dog. But it's definitely a lot of descriptions. And when we have people call in who found a stray, oftentimes, getting the male-female part, the description of the colors, it's a hodgepodge. Photos really do speak volumes, and we always want to have a photo of what animal has been found so that we can compare it to what animal was lost.
Exactly.
Well, that's really.
Do you put your shelter name on the microchip as well?
We do.
Yes, we do.
And then when we offer microchip services to our customers, we make sure to update the information for life. So if they move or change their phone number or whatever, they can just give the shelter a call and we will update their microchip information. Because there's nothing more frustrating for us than when we find a dog and it has a microchip and we think, oh, wonderful, this dog's going to be home tonight for dinner, no problem. And it's like, phone number's bad, email address is bad, address is bad. And then the dog has to stay in doggy jail for the evening.
Do you microchip?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We
and
do.
It's the same process?
It is exactly the same process. Yeah.
Okay.
We always register them in our name, because what we do find is that a lot of people that we adopt out to, for whatever reason, they don't register their details. So at least if the animal is lost whilst it belongs to them, the police or whoever has found the dog can come back to us, and then we can make the investigations like you've just explained. But it's so that there is always somewhere for the dog to go to.
Let's talk about, you're both volunteer organizations, correct? Let's talk about that a little bit. What kind of volunteers do you have? Do you need? What's that all about?
Well, it's a 7-day-a-week, 365 days of the year business, and that all has to be covered. Animals being fed in the mornings, cleaning, then exercising the dogs, and then the same again at lunchtime. They need letting out to potty, and then again at night they need feeding, cleaning, letting out. So it's a constant process, and whilst we do have some employees, obviously we can't afford to, like yourselves I'm sure, you can't afford to employ people to do all of that is needing to be done 7 days a week. So volunteers are an absolute essential part of any rescue or shelter work. Yeah.
And I know you have all kinds of volunteers.
We do. We have a number of volunteers put in applications, and we try to keep on top of it as best as we can. I'm still hunting for my perfect volunteer coordinator to help wrangle all of the information that we receive, getting the volunteers into the job that they want to do so that they are encouraged to come back is sometimes a challenge, but we've had no shortage of people wanting to volunteer. We're just having a hard time making sure that we're getting them in the right slot.
So if somebody wanted to volunteer, somebody watching today, how do they get a hold? We'll ask each of you. How do they get a hold of you, and what do they need to tell you?
So we have a volunteer application on our website. You can always come into the shelter and fill out a volunteer application. Emails have worked too. You know, we have no problem sending that out. I collect all the information and then I try and put it in a database that's being managed. And then when the situation arises where we have a call for volunteers, we try to send out an email blast to say, hey, this is what we're looking for volunteers for, who might be interested in it, and then we wait for replies.
And I was hoping maybe that information would be up on the screen here in a minute, but let's go to...
We do pretty much the same thing. We have a website, we have a Facebook page, a telephone number. People can contact us by phone or any of those other social medias, and just give us a call. We also have a form on our website that you can fill in and send to us. And then we do exactly the same. We try and assess what each person is wanting to do, whether it's cleaning, walking the dogs, whatever, and then try to steer them in. We actually do struggle with volunteers. Well, we don't struggle with them, we just haven't got enough. We'd like to struggle with them.
But she wants your problem.
Yes, I would love your problem.
Do you think that's because you're in McDonald County and
Yes.
you're kind of having to stay a little bit low-key?
Yes, I do. McDonald County is not a wealthy county, and we struggle with the numbers of dogs and calls that we get, and yes, we need help with that, which is one of the reasons I'm here today. We need some help. So
Gotcha.
Anybody out there that's willing, please call us.
Yeah.
And they're not very far apart, so you
Isn't
can,
that interesting?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
apples and oranges, but you're like 2-3 miles maybe
Yes.
Yeah.
at the most apart.
Yes.
And you both have really big hearts when it comes to animals. Tell me about fostering. You said something about fostering animals. Do you do a lot of that?
We're essentially foster-based. So our intake facility is where the dogs come in, they're evaluated for behaviour, they are wormed, treated for fleas, ticks, vaccinated, spayed and neutered, and then when all of that is done, and of course the 5-day stray hold, which is Missouri law, they are then, hopefully we find a suitable foster home for them, and they will stay with that foster home, and the foster people will take them to our events at PetSmart every Saturday down in Rogers. And then if they're not adopted, they go back with the fosters. Again, we need fosters. We have actually got a situation at the moment where we've got 2 and 3 dogs in kennels. We are just absolutely bursting at the seams. So fostering is a huge part of our need right now.
You foster as well?
So we do offer foster services. Our situation's just a little bit different because we are an actual brick and mortar facility.
Right.
And so we have, when we run out of space, then a foster is definitely an opportunity. But for the most part, we use fosters for people that need medical attention. So much as Bev was saying before, people that are in hospice or require bottle feeding or some other sort of medical attention where they're receiving antibiotics 3 or 4 times a day, then those are the ones that we put into foster care. Whereas if they're healthy enough to be part of our population, then they will stay at the kennels where they are more likely to be adopted than if they're in a foster facility.
Okay. You have 12 at your house?
Yes.
Bless your heart.
Yes, I think I'm known as the crazy British dog lady in Pineville.
Oh, and all stages of all ages?
Yes, mainly old old
seniors?
ones, yeah, or ones that have got unusual behaviour that right now it's very difficult to adopt out normal, healthy, young, well-behaved dogs, it's difficult. So if you get anything that's got a slight quirk or a health issue, you're struggling. Yeah. So.
But you know, something I think is really neat, and Bruce and I would be the kind of people that would do this at some point. The senior dogs are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so sweet, and they need us the most.
They have my heart, I'm afraid.
Isn't that interesting? It's usually the puppies.
Oh, I love the puppies as well, but I don't know. The seniors are so hard to place, and they just have my heart, I'm afraid.
Nothing wrong with that. Wow.
Events. You said what kind of events do you have? You said you take them to PetSmart.
We go to PetSmart every Saturday, 12 till 3. The one in Rogers at the Pinnacle Mall. We've also done Tractor Supply and various other venues. We hold fundraising events when we can find the volunteers and the time and the energy to actually do it. You tend to get sucked into this, I'm sure you know, this treadmill of just taking care of the dogs, and you get sucked into the day-to-day routine. Yeah. So that's where the volunteers come in. And we do have some amazing volunteers who have, we did a fundraiser a couple of weeks ago. It was just like a garage sale, and we raised $3,000.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, that was just amazing. But we are very much supported by the local community in Pineville, Anderson, those smaller cities, because I think the reason we are supported is because right now there is no animal control in Newton County or McDonald County, and we've kind of started to cover that area, and despite visiting with commissioners and aldermen and whatever title they have, I've been to the various city council meetings. There's absolutely no help coming forward at all from the authorities.
So they're not supporting you financially at all?
They are not supporting us financially at all. And to be honest, it rankles me a little bit, because they're leaving a 501c3 who's already struggling financially in every other way. They're leaving us to kind of clean up their mess, and it's
wow, that's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you work pretty closely with the Bella Vista Animal Control people, don't you?
So we're in a completely different situation in Benton. Benton County has a number of animal rescue facilities. We happen to be the one that services Bella Vista. Our police department and our ACO officer, we work so closely with them. They are friends of the shelter. They are with us all the time. We help them in situations where somebody's arrested and they have an animal in their vehicle, or God forbid that something happens at someone's home and they need an animal taken care of. We provide that service for our local police department and take care of the animal until the owners can, come back and relieve us of their animal. We have a contract with the city, and so they do help us financially. Like I said, it's apples and oranges, and so many people who reach out from across the state border, from Jane or from Pineville, they want to know why we won't take their animals, and we say, well, we have our laws and you guys have your laws, and we're trying to service the animals. I guess one of the key points that I'd like to make is, if you lose an animal in Bella Vista, you will look for your animal in Bella Vista. If someone from Anderson brings their animal to Bella Vista for them to be housed, the people from Anderson who are searching for their dog will likely never look in Bella Vista. So it's always so important to keep the animals, the strays, near to where they were lost, so that the people that are searching for them know where to search.
We need to get you some advocates.
Unfortunately, the dogs we take or find we also work very closely with the police now. In the early days, it was a precarious relationship, in view of the fact that the majority of people, if they reported a dog to the police, they were told to shoot it. Yes. Anyway, long story short, we've developed a relationship with our county officers, which is now very, very good. And whilst we work well with them. That's not the issue I was trying to make earlier. The issue is that we, like you, get support financially and otherwise from the local authorities. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're. I've even had a conversation with Mr. Dirk Deaton, our state representative, and my question was to him, and I'm sure you probably have wondered this yourself. If a dog is bought from a pet store or a breeder, it doesn't have to be spayed or neutered. Yet we, by law, have to spay and neuter every animal that goes out. That's what we call, where I'm from, an unlevel playing field. Mm-hmm. So we have all that expense and all that to do, the vaccinations, the worming, everything. By law, that's the law. That's not the case with the breeders and the pet stores. So Mr. Deaton is currently looking into that to find out why the laws are so different, because I really feel for McDonald County particularly, it's an issue we've got to start and look at a political level.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. So Benton County would be the example for what you're trying to strive to do.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we have the exact same problem where our breeders and I'm not sure about the pet stores, but the breeders for sure, they don't have to have their animals fixed. They don't necessarily have to provide all the vaccinations that we do, but legally we have to provide that.
Therefore, you encounter the expense.
We encounter the expense.
Yes.
And if they're a breeder and it's a desired breed, then they also get to charge an exorbitant fee, whereas we're not even covering expenses when we adopt out.
So, if you had a wish list right now,
You have
other
a wish
than
list.
some help,
And you mainly need dog walkers? Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, dog walkers, fundraisers, grant writers.
So you need volunteers in administrative, you need
Yes,
volunteers.
exactly. It's not just, I mean,
Right.
obviously people are attracted to the dog walking because most people that volunteer at a shelter want to have an interaction with the dogs, and I get that.
Right.
But if there's anyone out there that doesn't fancy that part of it, there's lots of other things, and like you said, just try and get them into an area where they're most suited. If somebody's a brilliant grant writer, I don't want her walking around the woods with a dog if she can be applying for a $10,000 grant from someone, you know? She can do that later when she's applied for the grant. So, but whatever quality you think you have, please tell us about it. Just come and tell us your qualities and we'll find you a place.
Well, what about everyday supplies?
So currently at the animal shelter, we just received a litter of 10 puppies, and so we're asking everybody for canned puppy food at this time. But we also have our regular everyday where we need bleach, disinfectant, hand soap, toilet paper, the regular things.
Same with you?
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all the same stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
Do you have, excuse me, JB, do you have any dog food donated to you?
We do. Walmart are very good to us, the Walmart in Jane. But we do actually...
And cat food?
Yes, they give us cat food as well, and we don't do cats, but what we do with that is we donate it to another cat place.
You don't do cats? I guess I didn't understand that.
No,
Okay.
we did in the early days, but to be honest, we don't have enough people and we're not set up for cats. So what we actually do is we refer anybody that comes up. We do get lots of cat inquiries, particularly at the moment. Like you said, it's kitten season.
What is kitten season?
Oh, it's when all the cats have kittens.
I mean, I'm just picturing something completely, probably not appropriate in my head.
It just seems to be when they have their kittens.
Interesting.
They've been catting around? And
Yeah.
now they're...
So we just refer them to there's a new one in Bentonville called Mew Cat, yeah, and of course Fabulous Felines in Northwest Arkansas.
I've heard of that one.
So we just refer them.
Interesting. You're referring pretty much to
South.
Benton County, to south, and there's nothing north of you.
There's Faithful Friends, Animal Advocates, and there's Joplin Humane Society.
Right south.
But we actually, Fabulous Felines go to PetSmart on a Saturday, so they see us, and we asked them, can
Right.
we refer people to you? And they said, yes, absolutely. So
Okay.
we kind of reciprocate. They, you know.
Well, we're kind of at the end of the show, so let's let each of you take a moment and maybe say where you are, what you need, just a quick goodbye to the community.
So thank you for the opportunity. We're located nearly at the state line on the Missouri-Arkansas border. So if you're driving north on 49, then you can see us. We have a nice big sign right there on the highway on the left-hand side next to the dump. And of course, you can always come and visit us at one of our events, mainly Wiener Takes All on October 1st. It's going to be up in the Highlands at Loch Lomond at the softball complex.
There you go, and thank you for being here
Thanks,
today.
Nancy.
Yes, we're just a little bit further up the road, probably 3-4 miles on the same side. We don't have a sign. We purposely have it that way. You can visit with us at PetSmart in Rogers at the Pinnacle Mall every Saturday 12 till 3. We have dogs there available for adoption, or we have people there who will be able to tell you anything that they need to tell you about the organisation. And we need dog food, money, and volunteers.
That's
Not
it.
necessarily in that order.
You don't need more dogs.
We don't need more dogs right now, no.
Well, I'm so glad you thought of bringing Huckleberry today, and Nancy, always, it's great
Thank you.
fun.
Thank
We
you
need to
for
kind of
keeping
wrap
so
up.
spontaneous.
I wanted to mention that next in October that our show is going to be a really good one as well. We've got the Benton County Sheriff
And the fire.
and the police chief here in Bella Vista, and they're going to talk about the importance and the need of upgrading the Benton County Jail because it's full.
And I saw a parallel between, overcrowding dog shelters and just saying.
We like to continue the theme. Anyway, thank you guys for being with us this
Thank
day. We appreciate it, and I'll see you probably tonight.
Tonight, we have an event.
And let's talk about it. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
This has been Bella Vista Community Television. Nothing on there that I have on here.